Okay, so in this generation, I feel like everyone is doing drugs. Like, no joke, from the average kid smoking weed to literally a 12-year-old vaping, everyone is inhaling something into their body or even snorting something. And me, I'm not gonna lie, I grew in the same generation you guys have, and we've all done it. And today's the story of me doing my biggest mistake ever. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba, and welcome back to another insane story. So today's the story about how I went to school high. Now, one thing I want to mention is that this was a total mistake. I don't condone doing the devil's lettuce when you're in school, driving, or doing anything important. But today's story starts off back when I was in grade 10. You see, in grade 10, I would never actually go near any sort of, devil's lettuce. I actually prefer not to be near it because it doesn't seem right to me to be even doing it in the first place. But from all the times I've done it, I'm not gonna lie, I've regretted it, and I decided to stay away from it. I remember one time my friend decided to tell me, yo bro, I got a vape here, do you want to hit it? And me, I remember that I was gonna go to a party literally like the next day, and I was thinking, oh well, like, I don't know, maybe it'll be cool to hit a vape when I'm there. I decided to take the vape and basically put it in my pocket and take it for tomorrow for the party, so I could look, somewhat cool, because apparently everyone in this generation vapes. I don't know what's so cool about, smoking flavored air, but I guess it's like cool in some sense. I have no idea. Anyways, going on with the story, I remember basically what ended up happening was I ended up basically taking this thing home, and I had to make sure I had to hide it, because if my mom saw that I had a vape, she was going to literally kill me. So I remember basically it was in my backpack, and I was just going throughout my school day and then going home, running straight to my room and throwing my bag across the room to make sure my mom wouldn't even think about looking inside of it. I remember when I put it down, I basically ended up, going on my Xbox and playing Call of Duty with the boys and just hanging out. But then afterwards, I remember when I was hopping on Call of Duty, I ended up hopping into an Xbox party with one of my friends. Now, this friend was the guy who gave me the vape, and honestly, one thing I will say about him, he's very sketchy. But he ended up telling me, yo, Bubba, did you try out the vape I gave you? Dude, the flavor is so good. I ended up telling him, oh no, like I left it inside like my bag. I'm not gonna touch it till tomorrow. And then he ended up saying how I should be opening it before I go to the party, just so it gets some like air or something. I have no idea. And I know everyone's gonna say that's the dumbest thing to ever, happen or be said, but I'm gonna say this much. I didn't know a lot about vaping either back then. Anyways, going on, I remember I ended up basically opening it up and putting it back in my backpack, and well, I kind of just left it until the next day. I remember I got up and I ended up getting ready for school, but as I was getting ready, I remember seeing the vape in the backpack. I remember I pulled it out and put it in my pocket and took it with me to the bathroom and basically got ready for the rest of the day. I kind of just decided to keep it close to me just so I can make sure that no one goes through my backpack randomly, because sometimes my mom would put a lunch in there and she does get a little snoopy. But after that, I remember after getting out of the bathroom, I remember looking at the vape as I was basically heading to school, and as I was outside by myself waiting for the bus, I looked at it and thought, oh, maybe I should try the new flavor, never kill me. And I ended up taking a fat hit of it. When I took a hit of it, I realized that this tasted really weird, and by a fat hit, I mean I basically held it in for a long time to really get the flavors, in quotations I'm putting in there, out of it. But after hitting it, I realized that this thing did not taste like a vape. It tasted like the devil's lettuce. And at that point, I realized I was in big trouble, because me taking a fat hit of a vape, especially a thing called a dab pen that some of you guys may know, is honestly something really dangerous, and honestly something that no one should be doing. But me, I remember I ended up taking a hit of it and I freaked out. And I was thinking, okay, I hope I don't get high from this. This is not good. And I ended up texting my friend that this was the dumbest thing ever. But then as I was sitting down, putting this vape away, or dab pen away, I should say, I remember the bus came and I ended up getting up and going on the bus. When I got on the bus though, and I stood up, I remember my whole body was shaking and I felt like I could feel every bone in my body. I was panicking and worrying, and in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, this is not good. This is really not good. And then I hopped on the bus and basically sat down again and trying to basically keep myself together. When I got to school, I remember I instantly decided to run to the bathroom and tried to make myself puke. I thought it would be like food and kind of just, being able to puke it out of my system, but nothing was working. I remember afterwards, my friend ended up coming into the bathroom and he's like, yo, bro, are you high? I ended up looking at him saying, yeah, I am. And he started laughing. He said, no way you hit it before school started. And I'm like, yeah, dude, like, I just wanted to try it. I thought it was a vape. He's like, it is a vape. I'm like, no, it's a dab pen. And I ended up showing him it and he freaked out. He's like, oh, shoot, I gave you the wrong one. What? How do you give me the wrong thing? And then afterwards, I remember me and him, we basically ended up, sticking together, and he was basically helping me get through school, from taking me to classes to basically making sure that I'm at least somewhat normal or seem normal. I remember though what ended up happening was something that actually really concerned me. I remember I ended up sitting beside my friend in the classroom, and when I was beside him, I remember the teacher looked around the classroom and asked some sort of question, but me, I didn't know what she asked. And then I remember the teacher looks at me and she looks at me kind of with a sideways face saying, Bubba, why are your eyes so red? Are you all right? Yeah, is what I ended up saying, but she wasn't believing it. She told me I should go to the nurse's office, and when I did, I remember I walked over there kind of just worrying. But as I was walking over there, I remember my friend decided to stop me midway through the hallway saying, yo, bro, don't go to the nurse's office. You're literally gonna get in big trouble if you go. What should I do? You should just like go and sit down. Just go sit down is what he ended up telling me. And basically me and him, we ended up going to the cafeteria, sitting down, and he ended up basically opening my lunchbox for me and told me to eat as much as I can. I ended up eating my entire lunch, and actually funny enough, he ended up telling me that I should eat more. So we ended up also going to McDonald's and skipping school, and I ended up eating as much as I could. That was the first time I ever ate 4 Big Macs back to back. It was honestly insane and mind-blowing. But then I remember at that point, my friend told me how we should get back to school, and I was starting to feel somewhat okay. So I remember I ended up going back to school, but right as I went through the main doors of my high school, my principal ended up looking at me saying, Bubba, where'd you go? Why weren't you in class? And he ended up pulling me into the office. He actually ended up going through my bag and finding the vape, or aka the dab pen. And that's when he realized I was high. I remember he looked at me and ended up calling my parents, and my parents came to pick me up. And when I had to explain to my parents the whole situation, they were really upset with me. And I ended up getting grounded from my Xbox for like basically 2 weeks. And I didn't even get to go to the party in the first place. Honestly, it all sucked, but what can I say? Bad decisions lead to bad choices. That made no sense. Let's just say this. Bad choices lead to consequences. But anyways, guys, I know this was a short story, but make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you guys haven't already, seriously means a lot when you guys do. And like I always say, just follow for more embarrassing but crazy stories. All right, peace out, guys.